everybody. Welcome back to Sarah's Table. As always, I always say it's a very special episode. It is, again, a very special episode. And this time it is because we are going to be playing a game that I helped design, and I'm super excited about it. And I just told everyone in this call that they had to be here and gave them no choice. So I think that's probably just fine and we'll have no repercussions whatsoever moving forward. Great. Hi. I'm Sarah Moore. My pronouns are she, her. I'm going to be your host today and your storyteller and your favorite person. And I'm going to remind you all to have a drink because I'm sure you're dehydrated, even though the weather is turning. So I'll just wait. You go ahead. Sit at home. Good. Well done. Nice job, everyone. Yay. Today we are playing The Crowned, which is currently kickstarting, and it is a game where you get to play gods, and it is produced by formerly Feral Games. And this game can get a little bit darker. When you are dealing with a bunch of gods, you are also dealing with a bunch of power, and sometimes that can tell a story that is not fluffy and adorable. So we're going to do our safety discussion. It is important all the time with people at your table, but especially in a game that can take on some darker themes. So here on Sarah's Table, you will never find sexual violence, violence against children, withholding food as punishment, or starvation. Is there anything else, my players, that we would like to avoid today on this show?
Usually it's, I'd say this and it's always superfluous, but it might not be today. Anything to do with fingernail torture, I guess, like that kind of, not my jam.
All right. Anybody else? Are we good? Everybody else is down for anything. Oh no.
Mine is also the fingernail thing, but I knew Patrick would say it.
Yeah,
perfect.
And you always cover the big things.
Good. Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to go around our table and we're going to do our player intro today. I'm going to start with the person who is below me on the screen, who I'm sure is not actually below me on the screen because of the magic of editing. Ta-da. Patrick, you start.
Beautiful. Hi, everybody. I'm Patrick Keeffe. I'm that great gentleman everywhere on the internet.
And your pronouns?
And my pronouns are he, they.
And because we are building characters today, and so this part is very short, like a little, how did you come into the Sarah's Table sphere?
Oh, gosh. Well, Sarah and I met at a coffee shop, and then the next thing I knew, I was in the Sarah's Table production studio, and I haven't left yet.
Yeah, no.
It's been a couple years.
Patrick's behind this curtain. Right here.
There's this whole like all of this is just
listen, my closet is beautiful. I came out of it a long time ago, but I still like it to be comfy. Still want it to be comfortable.
Wait, I've never heard this story. You met in a coffee shop?
No, that was
wow. I'm
no.
A little disappointed.
Sarah and I met. I don't remember if it was the Vampire the Masquerade one shot that we did, or if it was the Altered Carbon one.
I think it was the Altered Carbon was first. Yeah. We met playing that game, and
with the wonderful Markia McCarty.
With Markia, and after knowing each other for approximately, I don't know, it was like 18-ish seconds, I messaged Patrick and was like, hey, would you be cool if our characters were romantically intertwined and betrayed each other in a really awful way? Yeah. I maybe killed.
That's cool too.
Yeah, I mean, there was coffee involved. We were both drinking coffee, if that counts.
Yes, this is true. This is very, very true.
Good story. Yeah. Is everybody following at home? Let's get over to Lexi.
Hey, I am Lexi the First. My pronouns are she, her, and you can find me as Lexi the First across the internet and social media. And I'm happy to be here.
And how did I rope you in?
Ooh, so Sarah was my DM for Actoroki here on Gen Con TV. And we vibed really, really good. And it just like snowballed from there.
Yeah.
And now you have been my game master for many things, as well as friend / confidant / person.
And sometimes I steal your baby.
Yeah. / eventual cosplay buddy.
One day. We're going to get there. We have so many planned. There's just so timing. Time.
Yeah. Good thing it's just so easy to like throw a cosplay together, fly across the country, and set up a photo shoot. It would suck if that were inconvenient.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, and we all have limited time and money and resources. So
yeah, so it's great.
Good times. Hey, Damon.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. My name is Damon Vanhee. My pronouns are he, him, and I made this game. So that's why I'm here.
Sure. But how did you come into my sphere?
I think it was.
Oh, that was a heavy sigh. All right. Well, never mind.
I think it was.
Cast my mind back through the ages.
It was maybe 10 years, maybe 11 at this point. And we met at Gen Con on a film project where I was doing the makeup effects for. And I made you slap yourself in the face.
Slap myself in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm still friends with him, which is a weird turn
and
of
that
events.
interaction sparked a friendship. Who would have thought?
So if anyone's wondering how to make friends,
Yes. You
not
make
coffee
them
shop meet cute.
Yeah.
No, that's not cute.
No.
Don't go cute for it. Make them slap themselves in the face.
Mm-hmm.
That's how.
Or plot a romantic betrayal backstory for your OCs.
Again,
Oh, so
there you
good.
go.
I've made several
Actually-
friends that way,
actually,
actually. I have done that.
That might actually be a good way to
That's
make
the
friends.
one.
That's a really good one. Making an OC, then being like, hey, I see you have an OC. Can we have a tragic intertwining backstory and or future story is a really good way to make friends with nerdy people.
Yeah. And I have to say it. This is the first in that my characters have killed one of each of your characters in
my
different
gosh,
games.
yeah.
I have killed all of you.
That's true. That's very
Murder.
true. I believe I've killed yours in return.
You sure have. You killed me in return by accident on your first GMing out. You were like, "This is gonna be great," and I was like, "You just killed me!" Ta-da!
This is what happens when you underestimate the strength of your party. Whoops. Overestimate.
Da-da-da-da-da.
That's the word for it.
Anyway,
Don't
now
give
that
us
we've
credit.
now that we've
All
talked
kill
about
each
death,
other in one way or another.
which I think is really appropriate for this game. Let's do a little intro of the game. I got into it a tiny bit earlier, but so this game has been in production in some form for the last 5 years. It started as a NaNoWriMo book, which was abandoned because Damon thinks plots are dumb and would rather just play in the world that he created. Lots of rich world building stuff. And so takes place in a city called the Shining Garden, which is populated with an immense amount of gods as well as humans. And it is ruled over by a ruling pantheon of 10 gods called the Clade, who are incredibly powerful, and so powerful that their crowns grow out of their heads. And they're pretty terrifying, but also beautiful because our artist, and I love it, is amazing. And so you were like, oh, these are wonderful as a picture, but probably you don't want to meet them on the street because they will probably kill you. So as a character, a player character, you get to build a god. You were granted the mantle of godhood by one of the clade called Fetch. He gives everybody their godhood. Sometimes you are very attached to the kind of purview that you were given, and it makes a lot of sense for you. And sometimes it doesn't, and it's outside of what you thought you would have, and yet you're suddenly the god of this thing. We're talking about little things like bubblegum or volcanoes, but could also be something that is non-tangible, like intrusive thoughts, or the space the space between items or something like that. So one of the great things about the character build in this game is that because of the resources that you have available, one of the things you have is called Aether, and you use those points. I compared it the other day to God juice, which is gross, but is appropriate. It is your God juice. And everybody in the party will have the same amount of God juice. So even if your purviews feel as if they are incongruous, you are just as powerful as the person next to you, even if your purview is like bobby pins and theirs is fireballs.
Good combination, those two. Interesting combination, those two.
Fireballs. I mean,
Started thinking about that, and then those thoughts got real dangerous real fast.
Just like a shrapnel bomb.
What if you could cast a fireball every time you pulled out a bobby pin? Like,
I was just thinking that.
Right?
Like,
like
and then you always have like the most elaborate hairdos and needs like thousands of bobby pins to hold it in place.
Yeah. I mean, I want bobby pins because my brain is forever making rogues. And so I always want a thing to pick a lock with.
Yep.
But
you can pick a lock with a fireball.
You can pick that. You know what? That's true. You can
fact,
pick a lock.
Some might say it's the easiest way to pick a lock.
Easiest way to pick a lock is for there not to be a lock anymore. Yeah.
Right.
All right. That's fair.
I don't care if we have the key to the door. I said I cast fireball.
Right. I didn't.
Were you there at my last D&D session?
I feel like that's every D&D session. Let's be honest.
It's
You
true.
got a wizard in the party. It happens at least once.
Sorceress.
There you go.
Okay. Let's build some characters. Let's build some gods. And I'm going to do it. Do not jump ahead, those of you who have built characters before. Please and thank you. Step 1 in our book, which is got this lovely symbol on it. Ta-da! Step 1 is choosing your purview. This is the big one. This is maybe the most important thing that you do in character creation. Some of the other stuff is important and very fun, but like this is going to essentially determine how you are able to play this game, because you are going to be using it to fuel all of your rotes, which are like spells that you can get off quickly in combat. It's going to sort of probably affect the way that you interact with the world around you. We had the god of cinnamon, for example, who, if he didn't like what you were saying, would just fill your mouth with cinnamon, just cinnamon challenge you. And so it's very effective. But, you know, so like all these little things are going to sort of seep into all of your choices. So what are we thinking? And I know that you're going to be bonded to one of the ruling pantheon, but like, don't even think about them right now. Tell me your choices, your thoughts, and your purviews.
So I was kind of inspired actually by our earlier chit chat. I was almost thinking doing the god of meet cutes.
Oh, adorable. I love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's really good. I like that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go last.
Crap. I was gonna
And now that you said it, it has to be that way.
It's on the internet, so it's
On the
real.
internet.
Where everything is true.
Everything is true. Patrick frantically looking around his room for items.
I had something in mind and then it just left.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like I wasn't even like, oh, that's not, maybe I should do something different. I genuinely cannot remember what it was.
Awesome.
I feel like
it has exited the chat.
Yeah, I feel like the god of dice is too on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
What about?
Do you want me to go? Do you want me to go not last? I can go not last.
I would love that. That would be. I'd like that a lot, actually.
It's like the stress of ordering at a restaurant. It's like we can be ready as a table, but only if I order last.
Yeah.
Buy me time to look at the menu.
Exactly.
So I had 3 ideas when I showed up today because I can never only have one idea.
No, that would be too easy.
Yeah. And so I can either say all 3 of them and then Patrick, you're welcome to whatever is left, or I can just pick one and then not tell you anything.
No, I'll come up with my own, but I like this idea of crowdsourcing.
Yeah, give us a couple. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I had it narrowed down to coins and teeth and slime. And I think I'm going to go with slime.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to play a little slimy guy.
Slime was going to be my vote.
Yeah, slime.
If I had a vote.
Even though I do not have a vote, I am giving you my vote. There you go.
For slime.
I vote for slime.
Here's the opinion that you did not ask for. You're welcome.
I've given you that thought. So, Patrick, do you want like a physical thing?
Well, that's where I'm torn on is physical thing or if I go conceptual. Because I remembered the thing I was thinking of, which was the god of rubber bands. Also,
that's great. Yeah,
that's great.
You got a squeal out of Lexi. I mean,
it's fun.
I was also thinking the god of coffee, because that is a real life subject that I know a lot about, and it's always fun when you can pull real life knowledge into role play.
For sure.
And then, yeah, I don't know, rubber bands or coffee. I could also look up rubber band facts. I imagine there's not a whole...
Rubber band facts.
It's all about reading the wiki page as soon as we're done here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Learn everything you can.
Well, you'll have a full week before we record again. So
that's true. I'll watch a 5-hour-long YouTube essay on rubber bands and the origin thereof.
And then go, never mind, I've gone with coffee.
No, I think I'm gonna do rubber bands.
Rubber bands.
I like that.
That's great.
Cool. All right. That was a big important one. We got it out of the way. It's gonna be a weird party. Slime, rubber bands, meet cutes. I don't know how we're going to make that work, but we're gonna. Pew pew pew. Okay. So now we are going to do some math. Yay! We're spending some points on your character attributes. You have 4 stats and you have 10 skills. Your 4 stats are might, reflex, brains, and presence. And you have 5 points to spend on those stats. They cannot be bought above a 3. But you can have a 0 if you would like. Might is physical stuff. Also, you use might when you are calculating your health points. Reflex is agility, reaction, speed. Also, you use it for your initiative. Brains, funnily enough, is all of your brain stuff. And you also will get skill specializations according to how many brains points you have. And then presence is your moxie, your charisma, your ability to enter a room and have people look at you, basically. And it helps with your replenishing your aether, your god juice. It's officially going to have to go in the game now, Damon.
That's fine.
The resigned. That's
fine. We have to give her some things. Is anybody making the bold choice of having a 0 in anything. Yeah.
Oh, just me.
What's the total that we can pull from?
5.
5.
5 total between
You
your
can't buy above a 3.
can't buy, but highest can be a 3, lowest can be a 0. You can do 3 and 2 and have 2 things that are 0s if you want.
I'm going to be a coward and I'm going to say no. I'm going to go 2, 2, 1, 1. Oh, that doesn't add up.
Don't do that.
Bad. No, the math is bad. Look, I'm an actor and I was an
That's
English
okay.
major for a
Math
reason.
is, we're here to help you add up to 5. We got you.
It would be 2, 1, 1, 1.
It would be.
Right.
I have to tell you, both times that I have built characters in this game, I have taken 0 in might and had like 4 hit points. Ta-da!
Oh no! Why? This is why I killed you. This is why you died. It made me sad.
It's your own fault and not Patrick's.
No, I mean, it was definitely Patrick's fault when my character died in that. We didn't really have
It
hit
is
points in
100%
that game. That
That's
was
true.
not.
It was very narrative.
That was
Very
100% me being bad at keeping track.
Have we taken our stats? We feel good about them?
Yes.
Awesome.
Am I the only one with a 0?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
No
Yay.
regrets.
Where's your 0?
Brains.
Love that. Love that for you.
Love that for you. Okay, so now we have we're hopping over to skills. There are, I believe, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Correct, because 10 is a very important number here in this game. So there are 10 skills, and you have 10 points to spend on your skills. No skill can be bought above a 3. You can absolutely and probably should have 0s in at least several of them. I mean, I guess you could, if you want to be super coward, you could just put 1 in every skill.
Is
If
that
you want.
cowardly or is that
Yes.
an interesting choice?
Is it?
Because then
Jack of all
everything-
trades.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, but master, you're a god, friend. You should be the
That's
master
true.
of something.
That's very true.
Theoretically, you're the master of rubber bands, but maybe not if we build out this character.
I'm flexible.
I could do whatever.
Like rubber.
So the skills are endure, exert, fake, hit, impress, know, make, notice, sneak, and weird. If you have questions about what any of those mean, we can chat about it. Damon doesn't know what any of them mean, so he's going to have a lot of questions, and I can
I have to look
explain
it
them.
up all the time.
It's true.
Every time I have to look it up.
Hey,
That's
the
true.
game.
Yeah.
Once I write it down, it's out of my head entirely.
We've already done this part, so I don't need to
Right,
know it
exactly.
anymore. Yeah. I think most of them are pretty self-explanatory. I know that there always is a little bit of question about exert, but that's if you can just think of that as like physical exertion, that's how my brain remembers.
Is that not endure?
The endure is more like constitution, like toughness, willpower. Exert is you doing the physical thing.
So endure is someone punches me. Exert is I'm going to go run a mile.
Mm-hmm. It's like physical tats, running, swimming, jumping. I guess I would say punching, but that's hit. But like anything climbing, that's all exert. Endure is like when things happen to you and you are withstanding it.
Endure also covers things like your mental willpower and stuff like that. That is endure as well.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I got 10.
Lexi's on top of it today. Lexi just did 3, 3, 3, 1. Ignored the rest of it.
I wish. I should have, honestly.
How many can I put in one? Can I just put 10 in one? Can I just put 10 in weird and be done with it?
Not be surprised. Holding off because there is a lawnmower going because they decided that 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the ideal time to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
Lean out your window and scream at them.
If you lean out your window and you say, I'm trying to be the god of rubber bands, it might confuse them enough that they would stop and go away.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You're interrupting.
You're interrupting the god of rubber bands.
I'm going to use that voice now. I'm the god of rubber bands. You're interrupting me.
It's a little Starscream. It's a little. We're getting a little Transformers here. Okay, has everybody spent their skill points?
I'm bad at math. Give me a sec.
Let me help you.
I'm so glad that Patrick is not the god of math.
No, that was a very
desperately wish they were.
Very intentional. You know what? That might have been fun. Just making an intentional choice to be the god of math.
To be the god
That's
of math.
probably a much longer Wikipedia page, though.
Yeah.
In fact, it is several years worth of college courses long.
I should definitely have been the god of math, so I could finally put, all of those years of high math academia to use, because I sure don't use it for anything else in my work.
Math.
I too am bad at math, which is why everything only goes up to 10 in this. It's very like.
Listen, you get into double digits, things get dicey.
We don't need more than
Absolutely.
that. 10 only. That's all we
Not
need.
me actually using a calculator to tabulate the numbers that I wrote down here. I'm counting to 10.
You're doing so good.
I have 10 fingers.
I make tally marks. It's fine. You're fine.
I use my flanges.
Ooh.
Flanges. Very good.
God of flanges would be fun.
We did it. Okay. We got 10. We got 10s all around. All right. So here is the one of the more fun things that I think you get to do. You are bonded to one of the Clade. There are 10 Clade members. They are awesome in the actual sense of the word and terrifying. I wouldn't say that any of them are nice, probably at all. And you get to choose who you are an aspect of. This is kind of your character class in that being bonded to a Clade member gives you bonuses to certain things. It's going to affect your stats. It's going to affect your skills. And it's going to give you a couple of wonders, which are the rest of the things that you can do with the game. So there's 10. There are Axiom, Capital, Caprice, Fetch, who gave everyone their godhood, Nell, The Loop, Outcast, Rhyme, Spark, and Tempest. You all have the book in front of you. They are beautifully illustrated in full color. We have a couple of options. You can flip through and you can look at the art and you can go, that one is speaking to me. And then we can talk a little bit more about them. Or we can go a little bit more intellectual with the way that we are doing it. And we can look at the purviews that each of these gods control and see where yours would fit best. Generally, the Clade members will take you on as an aspect if yours sort of fits underneath their umbrella. However, if you feel a very strong pull to one that is not necessarily adjacent to what you are doing, that's okay too, because often these gods will grow tired of you as a minor god and trade you off to another one, just toss you aside like a playing card. Because like I said, they're not nice. Does anybody have one that is calling, or a couple of them that you would like help narrowing down?
Well, I am staring at the playtest, and I note the Office Depot laminate, as well as the aspect of Nell covers cubicles.
Yep.
And I feel like that's where you often find rubber bands.
Absolutely.
Is in an office environment.
Yeah. So
I love this logic. I'm really excited.
So Nell is
process.
Nell is the god of death and business.
Yes.
Because business is just like slowly killing you every day. Especially in a cubicle environment. So I mean, it feels very much like it would make sense for Nell to take you on as an aspect. Also, I'm going to show this. This is the first god that the first clade member that our artist drew to Nell, and it is so beautiful.
I love them.
Just really gorgeous.
Cosplay them.
Yeah. No, I mean, we have been discussing the possibility of a photo shoot. Maybe we add a Patrick into the photo shoot, Lexi.
Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm normal.
So
I'm normal. Uh-oh.
Well, now I don't want to be part of the photo shoot. Don't lie to me. Don't you lie to me.
It's fine.
None of us are normal.
God of trying to be normal.
Trying to be normal.
That's a fun aspect.
That one feels very much like it would fall under Rhyme's purview, who is the god of madness. Lexi, are there a couple of gods, clade members that are a calling to you?
I picked one.
Tell me. Who is it?
Caprice.
Oh, she's my favorite. I love Caprice.
I have adored Caprice since I first read
Where's Caprice?
in one of the first play tests I did, but I have never done a purview that I felt like matched them, and I kind of like the matchy aspect.
Absolutely.
So I'm feeling the god of meet cute. Caprice is parties, Caprice is sex. They are all about,
chance.
The social, I feel like chance.
Yep.
So I feel like meet cute, just kind of it's the sweeter side of instead of it's just the sex of the party, meet cute's kind of the side that's okay, but what happened at the party? But
right.
What did the sex lead
to?
But
what led to the sex?
Yeah. What was the 2-hour rom-com that became of this?
Yes. Cool. So hopping back to Nell for 1 second, Nell's crown is butterflies, because butterflies are carrion eaters. they eat meat. It's gross. And Nell originated as the god of butterflies, and then started branching out, and then became the god of death, and then killed the god of business because he wanted it. Caprice's crown is liquid. It is ever-changing liquid, shifting depending on what their mood is at the time. It could be a lot of things. Whiskey, blood, any other bodily fluid that you can think of. I don't know, soup, whatever. Any liquid could be on their head. Often gross. I said soup, and Damon went, "Oh, I never considered that." I said, "Saw that."
Oh no.
Make a note.
So it's definitely soup.
Soup crown. Definitely soup.
Soup crown. All right, Damon. Who have you chosen?
I haven't yet. I haven't narrowed down to 2.
Okay, who are your 2?
Because I'm perpetually just narrowing things down and never really deciding.
You are the god of narrowing it down.
That's my life.
God of winnowing.
God of pros cons lists.
Yeah, that's me. That's in my life, in my regular life. To-do list.
So I'm one of them is potentially Tempest.
Tempest.
That's Tempest.
I love his suspenders.
Earth-based slime.
Yeah, if I'm going with a naturally occurring sort of muck. Or it could be capital. Ooh. If I'm going for more of a city sludge situation.
Mhm.
Oh, when you said
Um,
capital, I thought you were gonna go with like the trending, like the slime that they just sell all over
I also
Etsy now.
thought
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, like the
That
custom
too.
made ones.
They're just selling slime on Etsy?
Yeah, so you know
Oh,
you know
yeah.
the slime that like kids would make in like kindergarten and stuff, like
Mhm.
With like baking soda. And,
yeah.
or,
So like there has
flour and
been
stuff.
like a gourmet slime fancy situation that a lot of adults have been buying as like stress relief, and it's spawned a whole bunch of Etsy shops where you can go in and like there's stuff in the slime and it's a bunch of fancy colors and all themed.
Charms
I
and like
love-
scents and
I
I've
love that somebody took non-Newtonian fluids and were like, I can make a business out of this.
Yeah.
mhm. I've worked in film for a really long time, and the last project that I did, I had like 40 gallons of that stuff
Mm-hmm.
because it's really easy to make. It's very cheap. It's very easy to make.
It is.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm glad people are selling it. Yeah.
Capital,
Also,
baby. No.
The moons here, there are 2 moons in this
Mhm.
world. And one of them is where the loop lives, and it is a non-Newtonian fluid, in fact.
Very
The
good.
moon itself.
The moon itself. Good bouncy outside. I think I'm gonna go with capital.
Capital.
And this is gonna be city slime.
City
Oh, yeah.
slime. Ba, ba, ba.
ew.
So pretty. Okay, so Capital is the god of cities and trains and commerce and municipal trash and neon. His crown is the shining garden just on his head. It has its own little like weather systems, and it's reflective of what's happening in the shining garden. Also, Capital has the ability to just like create new parts of the city should they choose to. Just as like, I want a building here, and then it is there. So pretty cool.
Hope he gets a haircut.
Correct. It means adjusting. It's just a new style. It's just gonna go see the stylist.
Can you take about 4 levels off this skyscraper?
I need a little trim.
Yeah.
That could be very devastating for the city if he was just like, this part's too high and just cracked it off. Oh, that's just gone now. All right. So
That's why it's more expensive to live closer to the ground.
that's where you want to live close to the ground and not up high. Okay, so let's take our bonded Clade members here. You get to add certain things to your character sheet because of this. There is, I believe, one stat increase and several skill increases, and then you get a couple degree discounts, which we're going to talk about what degree discounts are in a moment. And you get a wonder. Capital's wonder is but make it fashion, where you can magically alter the appearance of your clothing to whatever you would like. When I played somebody who was bonded to Capital, it is the first thing that I did in every scene. I was like, what am I wearing though? This is important. Caprice, you get something called dip a toe in, where you can identify liquids by touching them. Any liquid, if you touch it, you know what it is.
Can I lick it?
Of course, you don't have to taste it to identify it, but if it is a personal choice for you, you may lick any liquid.
Everyone who has taken that has just licked it instead.
Right.
So you're saying that there's
every
like
person.
a type.
That says something about the human condition. I'm not sure what it is or if I want to know.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all know what it is, and I don't think we should talk about it anymore. This is a family-friendly show. Bye. All right, and then Nell, you get access the archives in the sarcasm font, because Axiom has actual access the archive, where you can just like know things that are written down or recorded somewhere. And Nell is a jerk, especially to Axiom. And so his is access the archives, and you can speak to and learn from corpses.
Yay! Great.
I'll make sure to have some littered about for you to chat with.
Thank you.
I can't guarantee how fresh they will be.
Pew, pew, pew. When is a gift not a gift?
I think you'll still get to learn about stuff. It's just gonna be grosser.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
I love you too. I'm writing things down.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so have you all made a note of your degree discounts as well?
Yes.
Fun update. I still have a 0 in brains.
Yeah.
Nice.
Still
That's my girl. I love it. I can't wait to see what happens with a 0 brain character. Okay. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
When I was writing down the Access archives, I wrote speak to and learn from copses.
Oh,
which are
like groups of trees?
Right.
I mean, okay,
like
I'm going to have to say that would probably be more of the loops territory, but we can try.
No,
they would have
it's
to be
okay.
dead trees,
Yeah.
I think.
Does that count as a corpse? Is a question I will ask you when we get into gameplay.
So I would say that is adjacent in a way that if you were going to try to do it, we would probably add in some wild card when we are building that spell.
Right.
We would just add like, it's kind of like what the tree is dead. So I could probably get information. Also, what is it about you and talking to trees in games that I run, Patrick?
The same thing that it is about me and choosing like god aspects that have something to do with death. I've played quite amount of TTRPGs and somehow I always find myself doing that. I don't.
Are you an earth sign?
No, oddly enough, I'm a wind sign.
There you go.
I feel like you were going to say "there you go" no matter what.
Yes.
Fun fact: I don't know anything about astrology. Like nothing, actually.
Very good.
Here on Sarah's Table, you can learn all about the pseudosciences because we just make them up.
I'm going to be the god of astrology next, and I'm not going to do my research.
I refuse to do any research.
I feel like that's the best.
Like all I do is write horoscopes and I don't care. That's it. That's all I do.
Yeah.
I do love the idea that somebody who like wrote horoscopes just like as a joke, as their job, like hated it and just wrote it, like became the god of astrology and then suddenly was like, oh no, now I have to deal with all of this stuff.
Thank you for describing my next character.
I was just about to say.
Just helping. Okay, so we're back to Patrick's favorite thing. We're gonna do some more math. So everybody here is divinity level 2. So we're gonna do your health pool first, which is divinity plus might plus endure. And then you're gonna multiply it by 4. The minimum is 4.
What is our divinity again?
It's a 2.
Oh, okay.
Patrick, I'm also willing to do your math if you just tell me what those numbers are.
Okay. Well, I need to challenge myself. I need to put myself in uncomfortable situations. So said my therapist.
Okay, I understand. It is how we grow. But I also maybe
we are on stream.
Should check the math.
That is also fair. Divinity plus might times what?
Okay, what's your hold on. We're missing a thing. Divinity, which is 2. What is your might score?
1.
1. And then we're also adding in your endure score.
3.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
And then we're going to multiply that times 4. And I have the answer, but I'm going to let you give me an answer and see if we match.
You can take a hit.
24.
That's the one. You did
Yay,
it.
did it.
24 health points. So your health points, they represent your like human form.
Right.
You could never take away health points depending on how you do things. Like your Aether pool you can use to like soak damage and do stuff, but it's also how you fuel your spells. So sometimes you might want to let some of it go to your frail human-like body in order to smack somebody with some god juice. Lexi, where are you at with your health?
16.
Yeah, all right. That's not terrible. Damon?
12.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So shove Patrick to the front.
Yep.
Go
I am
out there,
made
god of rubber bands.
God of rubber bands. Rubber is
bouncy.
the purview.
So
Part of the
bouncy.
purview, so.
And then this one is very easy. Your Aether pool total is your divinity times 50. So everybody should start with 100 Aether points.
Thank you, God of Math.
God of math. Not the god I want to be, but
No.
sometimes the god I am.
We are often not the God we want to be, but the
No,
God we
right?
need to be.
Be the god you want to see in the world, I believe, is what should be a crowned t-shirt, I think.
May I make a formal request for Patrick at some point to say the "I'm rubber, you're glue" taunt during this game?
Oh, that's already
Absolutely.
in my back pocket for sure.
Oh,
Patrick was like, that's all I was going to say the whole session. Just,
it was just that
I'm rubber,
sentence.
you're glue.
He's probably going to say it to me.
yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I'm rubber, you're goo, is what
I'm
it is.
rubber, you're goo. Whatever you say bounces off of me, and I don't know what goo does, so it does something to you.
That's perfect. I feel like we could just start playing now and everybody would be fine with it. But we have a couple of more
Would
things to
bring
do.
the math to an end.
Right.
That's a lie. This game has a lot of math.
It wouldn't.
That's
There
a
is
lie.
more math.
Yeah.
But it's easy math, I think, once you get the hang of it, and we're gonna walk you through everything. It's gonna be fine. Okay. So the next step is picking your wonders.
Right.
Wonders are pretty much everything else that you can do in the game. It helps you sort of, some of them are very role play heavy. Some of them are like physical things you can manifest. Wonders also covers things like armor and weapons and gear. As a second level character, you are going to get 2 level 1 wonders, 2 level 2 wonders, and then you will have 45 XP to buy your wonders. One of the things that I personally like about this game is that if you have enough XP to buy the wonder, it does not matter what level divinity you are, you can buy it and use it. So there's not necessarily a tiered, like, I am only a second level wizard, and so I can only use this many second level spells. If you have the currency for it, you can buy, and there are up to 10th level wonders, because 10 is very important. The game that we are playing today is the version that we have been playtesting at all of our conventions, and so it is only built out through level 4 wonders. But there's some really fun ones in there. A note is that if it is something that is an enchantment that says it needs to go on a weapon or a piece of gear, you also need to pay for that piece of gear. You can't just put it on nothing. I mean, I guess you could buy it in the hopes that one day you would find a piece of gear or weapon.
That would be very funny, just having a...
You're welcome to spend all 45 of your points on things that you can't use. I am not your mom, and you can do what you want.
How many level 1s and 2s?
2 of
Allowed?
each.
2 of
2
each,
level
and then
1s, 2 level
35
2s.
points too. Gotcha.
So there are ones that are very fun in here. There are also ones that would be very helpful, which everyone skips in favor of the fun ones, which I understand because whenever I build a character, I'm like, but look at how cool this is. But you know, like it might be good for somebody to have healing in the group. There are things that wonders that help you upgrade your defense score. There's armor that you can buy. There's skill upgrades. There's also a thing called divine secrecy, which makes it harder for people to track you in a magical way. But then there's also stuff like a familiar, which everybody wants because then you have a built-in friend.
Aw.
I mean, it's true though. Sometimes
I might, for the very first time playing this game, not take a familiar. I know.
Gasp.
I know.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure what the meet cute familiar would be. I feel you.
Whatever I want.
Just want to.
It would be the dog that wraps its like leash around your legs and accidentally draws you to the person that you were meant to be with.
Yeah, it's very 101 Dalmatians.
Mm-hmm. Also, every other rom-com ever.
Every rom-com ever made. I would, if I just like to think of what everybody's familiar would be, and I'm currently picturing a tiny sentient slime that's adorable and a rubber band ball that has eyeballs
with the googly eyes.
That's
I
what
was
I'm
thinking about it.
That's what I'm picturing. You don't have to take it. I just want you to know how my brain works.
Oh, I know how your brain works.
My brain was already in that same area. The moment that you said like little, like you always have a friend with you, I'm like,
Always have a friend.
Boing, boing.
It can't be larger than a domestic house cat, but otherwise.
So it could be like the size of a
like a
basketball.
Yeah. Oh my god. A giant rubber band ball.
Boing,
Googly
boing.
eyes bouncing along. Oh,
Just smack it into people.
well, that's happening now. That has to happen now. His name is Frederick.
Aw.
Already named him, so now I have to take that skill.
Yeah, there's also stuff where you can like you can turn into an animal. Therianthropy is there. There's stuff like ambrosia. But when you get up into the higher levels, you could take wings or multiple extra limbs. Theophage, which is gross, where you just like eat something strongly associated with the clade that you're bound to, and then that helps with your that helps restore some of your aether points. So like as an aspect of Nell, you could eat, corpses, or butterflies. Yeah.
This is why we're friends. We think about tiny little rubber band pets and eating corpses.
Yeah. Welcome to Sarah's table.
That's a friendship. It's a friendship descriptor I never thought I would.
This is truly just, we're branching off into different aspects of joyful gaming here right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what sparks joy for everyone is different.
It's true. It's true.
We here at Sarah's table like to include our zombie audience.
Yeah,
eating corpses.
Listen, it's good for the environment. Yeah. Don't give me that look. It is good for the environment. I'm helping. We're helping. One of my favorite ones that we have come up with, first of all, I have to say that creating wonders is like the most fun for us. In fact, it is so fun that there have been times when we have skipped other very important parts of the game in favor of just like making more wonders, because you get to call them really fun things and you get to come up with really ridiculous like things that you can just trigger. One of them is thanks it has pockets, where you just have like it's like a permanent bag of holding that is a pocket on your person. I like it. And you can purchase it multiple times and just have multiple pockets, which, you know, as a femme presenting person in the patriarchy, I feel like I have to do that in real life. Just have to purchase pockets separately from my clothes in order to use them.
Pockets are my ultimate fantasy.
Mm-hmm. To the point where like every time, I mean, it's off of the joke of anytime somebody is like, hey, I like your dress. And you go, thanks, it has pockets. And everybody gets so excited who is a lady who, a dress wearing individual is like, oh my God, what? Yeah. So we had to call attention to it. Are there any of these wonders that we are going through now that you have questions about?
Yes, actually. So I took the wonder always armed.
Yeah.
Which says it counts as a gear wonder.
Yes.
Which that means that I can use like weapon distance basic. Can I use that enchantment on that always armed?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we even made sure to put in the always armed. This attack counts as a gear wonder for purposes of enchantments. So the enchantment can go directly on whatever you are choosing your always armed to be. Is it your hands? Is it your feet? Is it your elbows?
You just always have like a little rubber band
that you can
to shoot
fling
at someone.
So always...
yeah, absolutely. That's 100%. I was thinking like the I can't remember what the heck the game was called. It died off so fast. But the one where like people punch and their arms like extend in like springs kind of deal. That, but like rubber bands.
Like Street Fighter.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. But people were like fighting with their hair and stuff like that. I forget what that was called. Not Bayonetta.
You love Bayonetta though.
I know, right? It's good. Lexi's having a reverie at the moment about Bayonetta. You know what? It's okay. Sometimes we just have to take those moments. Like take them where we can get them, you know?
True.
While we were doing this, I'm going to show a little bit more of the artwork while people are finishing up. This is the loop. If there was a quote unquote nice God, I mean, I think probably the loop is viewed as such. The most beloved probably comes out among the people. I wouldn't like at her core, she's, you know, not, but she is the god of ritual magics and moons and circles and plants, repetitions, anything that's cyclical is the loop. We also have just little bits while people are buying stuff. All of our Clade members have a little symbol. They are based on circles, ritual circles, and throughout the city, these are sort of scrawled everywhere by their worshipers.
And what's really cool is when you play the game, you do have to in real life get a tattoo
you have to get a tattoo
logo.
It actually,
on your body,
yeah, it actually just shows up. We have,
but it doesn't go away.
No,
so if you play
doesn't-
multiple times,
doesn't, like-
multiple aspects, you just
it just
keep popping up.
It eventually you are covered completely.
Mhm.
Completely. There's also the symbol of the game, which is another one. And this is the Shining Garden, which is the city that we are all playing in a big, huge ritual circle, which is got a train on it, which is actually Capital's train. So it might come into play because we have an aspect of Capital here today. And because 10 is so important, there are a total of 10 cities along this rail line. And like, we're looking at eventually in the future, when we have a fully successful Kickstarter, obviously, we're speaking that into existence, that we are going to be able to flesh out those other 9 cities in future editions and in expansions, things of that nature. How are we doing on our wonders? Lexi is on it today.
I made the mistake of starting to write down the descriptions now instead of later, and then I stopped doing that because I realized that was taking a lot of time.
Sure, I understand. The character sheet has the second page of the character sheet is literally just wonders where you're able to put notes. We had it be its own sheet because the higher level that you get, the more wonders you are going to get, and you can just reprint this page and put it on as many as you need to have. The front page, which has most of the things that you need, is lovely. There are lots of circles. All ritual circles for us.
More than
10
10 circles.
More than 10 circles. Yeah, but a lot of them are placed in multiples of 10 because we can't help ourselves. Ta-da!
For the dearly devoted wonder,
Yes.
it's a tiered worship. You need to purchase the first one before you purchase the second one, correct?
Yeah. So if it says tiered, then you must have the one below it. Otherwise, you do not need it. There are some gear things that you don't need to purchase the lower one, but anything that is specifically called out as tiered, you must also pay for the previous one. Dearly devoted, which we can chat about while he is writing things down, is worshippers that you have. This is a situation where you can interact with them as much as you would like. You can not care about them. You can actively hate having worshippers, but because you have taken on these worshippers, they have decided to follow you. You get more Aether Point replenishment because you have people who are like leaving you offerings and praying to you and things of that nature. Depending on how dark you would like your game to get, there are rules in the full book with the option for you to use your worshippers like literal human batteries. If you wanted to do something where you could do a sacrifice situation if people are good at your table for that. So that is an option. We're probably not going to go there in this arc, is my guess. But I don't know. We're already talking about eating corpses, so I don't know. I also feel like that could be a really being bonded to Nell and then like doing a big human sacrifice to gain a bunch of Aether points and then eating the corpses to gain more.
Oh, you're just full of ideas.
Dang, that's hardcore.
Listen,
It's just logistics.
We won't go there on Sarah's table, but
it's
you
efficient.
better believe I'm
Sarah might go there on Sarah's table.
Oh no, listen, I get a lot of crap from people about not being able to run a dark game, and I can run a dark game.
Yeah, clearly. All right. Good.
We're not doing that today, folks at home.
No, we are not.
It's okay. I'm not saying this arc won't get there, but today we are not.
My favorite part about the virtual sessions, as much as I love being in person, is when you say folks at home, it also applies to us.
It does.
Kind of cute.
You're all my folks at home. Okay. Are we there? Did we do it?
Done.
Okay. All right. So our next step, we're going to add technically it says here that there are 6 steps, but I'm going to add a 5 prime. Because for your brains, the number that you have in brains, you get that many skill specializations. Lexi is done with this step.
Yeah.
No skill specializations. So you get to specialize in something underneath a skill. There's a little focus. So like, for example, a previous character that Patrick has played was the God of Bottles, and under hit, they had a specialization in bar fights. The cool thing about a skill specialization is that if you are using it, it gives you a higher chance of having your dice pool explode into more successes. This is a dice pool game. We use D6s, and when you roll normally, your a 6 will explode into the potential of having more successes. And as many times as you roll 6, you get to keep rolling. If you have a skill specialization, your 5s on your first roll will also explode. So that can help, especially when you are attempting to do something that you might not have the proper number of dice to actually accomplish. This is when being a god is very helpful. In fact, we played recently where Lexi got like 7 or 8 successes because of our exploding
wild.
6s. Yeah, it just kept.
And it was the dice
going.
set that you guys gave me the first time I play tested the Crown.
Rigged dice.
Which is nice because the last time you let me borrow a dice, it killed me. So.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So now we're even.
Staying on brand.
Yeah.
But you play enough games with your friends, you're going to kill them eventually.
It's true.
So that is extremely accurate. Yeah.
Patrick just gets it out of the way with the first one. So.
Look, I figured it would just be easier that way.
And now we don't have to do it anymore.
It was definitely intentional. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to.
No, I've done it. I checked that part off. Have we taken our skill specializations?
I have.
Word.
All of them, yeah.
Good job, Lexi. So now we have our final details of your character. You are going to choose your character's name and describe what they look like. We also get to pick out where in the Shining Garden that you live. There are, surprisingly, 10 districts that you can choose from. I know, it's a shock. So weird. But also you get to pick out any non-wonder gear that you may have, things that wouldn't mechanically do things, but are like, important to you as your character as a person. And also I like to pick out what you did as a job before you were a god, because that can inform character choices. So the districts, if you go in your book to page 53, there are short descriptions of the 10 districts. And we can do the thing where you pick one or several that we can narrow down. But because we are sort of introducing the game to an audience, I would love when you make the choice that we're gonna chat about the district a little bit. so that people can get an idea. So it would be good if maybe you were from different districts. However, if you all choose to be from the same one, that's okay. We'll just talk about some other ones for variety's purposes.
Can you remind me what page the districts are on?
Page 53.
Gotcha.
Damon, do you know where you're going to be from?
No.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Leading by example.
I actually backed up a little bit because now I'm thinking maybe I want to swap around some of those wonder points and have a little slug as a familiar or a snail
Aw.
or something else.
Cute.
Yeah.
Very adorable.
I'm picking Darling.
Darling.
That so does not surprise me.
Yeah. This is where there is the luxury vehicle racing circuit. This is the high-end boutiques. This is the fancy restaurants. You can also go there to get like fancy biotrend implants, surgeries that you can implant enhancements and things. Yeah, Darlene is a fun one. One of my characters is from Darlene, and she is a thief because she lives a life of leisure. Also
Catwoman
because
vibes. Love it.
because I play her, so she is a thief. Can't help it. Can't help it. Yeah, but did I just hear a guitar? What's happening?
Damon, do you have something to share with us?
I hit my playbook against a little spring on my mic stand.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
Well, it
whoa.
sounded like a guitar.
You're welcome.
You were like, I'm gonna sing about where I am from just real quick.
Yeah, that would be great.
Ding.
No, that was just me messing up.
I'm from Cloudwell.
Well, I'm glad we called attention to it then because
Yeah, thanks.
you're welcome. Patrick, thoughts on where you are from?
I'm thinking Morgantown.
Morgantown.
Sounds like a very overdeveloped district full of
Yeah.
people packed very tightly close.
Just like a ton of people in Morgantown, and it also has a
Yeah.
bunch of the towers, capital T towers. The more money that you have, the more well off that you are, the closer to the ground that you live, and the higher up you go in the towers, the less you have, and potentially the less like access to electricity that you have. The Shining Garden runs on the grid, which is essentially like a big dome that goes over the entire city that Fetch has enabled. And some of the towers are above that grid. And so you have to like steal your neighbor's cable and like use some stuff to plug into down back on the grid. Also, those towers are so tall and so close together that people have built bridges between them in order to like not have to go all the way down to the ground to get across. Some of them are pretty sturdy. Some of them are really not, like pretty rickety and dangerous. It is, as a caveat, it is very hard to kill a god. So as a PC, there's probably a lot of things that can and will happen to you as you are playing. You are inherently sturdier because of, just going to say it again, because of your god juice. You sort of can get through more than a mortal can. However, the people that you are encountering are not all going to be gods. A lot of them are going to be mortals, and they are very squishy. And we have discussed a lot the concept of your character choosing to die as opposed to being killed. Although if you were, for example, to go up against like a member of the Clade, they would just you'd just be a smoking pair of boots. Like there would be nothing left. So, and like we can do that. If that's the game you want to play, I will throw a Clade member at you and it will be 8 minutes long and then we will do something else. whatever you want. I want to
Maybe
run
not.
the game that you want to play. So, what we're doing.
I like living. I enjoy living.
I mean, all right, fine. It was very picky.
Yes.
Ugh. Damon, where are you from?
It'll be from Keats Hills.
Keats Hills. Agriculture, medicine, biosynthetic industries. There's some stuff there called the vats, which they make the synthetic goods and food underneath. Are you a member of the Keats family? No.
No.
Okay. All right. This is also where there's perfect orchards and crops, and all of those things. A lot of the food comes from Keats Hills. Super high educational standards, academic research. So are you an academic? No, again. Excellent. Okay.
I took in my wonders, I took the healing hands.
Okay.
And I also took ambrosia, which also has some healing aspects to it. So I think that I am just like sticky with healing juice.
Gross. Love it.
So much juice.
Oh,
It's a lot of
So
juice
much
here.
juice. It's
Yeah.
a lot of
so
juice.
much juice.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to essentially play a really gross cleric.
Ew.
Mhm.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it is a lot of things that happen in this game. Every incarnation of this game that has been uttered at the table multiple times. Just like, ew, I love that. That's great.
That's
playing-
horrifying. Do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah.
I do love that you're playing a gross cleric because I'm essentially playing a bouncy ranger.
All right.
We think in D&D terms. It's hard sometimes.
No, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I think I'm low key a bard here.
Yeah, and not even really low key, friend.
No, there's nothing. I don't know that there's anything quiet about that.
So let's finish up, add your little touches. Okay. What is your name and what did you do before you became a god?
I will go first.
Yes.
Bonus points to anyone who can guess the reference. But
Uh-oh.
her name is Meg, and she was a bookshop owner.
I mean, is that supposed to be a hard reference? Okay, cool.
Not even a little bit.
Do y'all know it? No? Okay.
Mine's drawing a blank.
Like Meg Ryan in you
Right.
you shop around the corner, you've
Yeah.
got mail.
You got mail.
Mhm.
Yep. Nope. Got it.
Very good.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. And
You've
do
got mail
you,
in so
Meg,
long.
still work at the bookshop?
No.
Have
No.
moved on.
Past that, moved on, over it.
Great. Now you're just gauding about.
Yeah, I kind of just running around playing Cupid, really.
I love that. And I'm sure that will not cause a problem for your
No.
group as a whole. Okay. Excellent.
Everyone loves when she sticks her nose in their business.
Yeah, no, I've heard
Because
that.
Everyone loves a meet cute. What happens after that is not her fault
Right.
or her problem.
Not her call. We've done this
she
part.
got you guys together. If it turns out that you were not actually good for each other, that's not her purview. Like, pfft, she's not the purview of long-lasting, healthy relationships.
Wow. Yeah, no, that god is really hard to find, as it turns
Yeah.
out. Just like just evasive.
Yeah, she's the meet cute. She's the
They've
moment.
taken so much divine secrecy, you just can't find them.
Listen, she starts stories. She doesn't end them.
Don't need to finish it. Got it.
No.
I got it. All right, and what do you look like, Meg?
Did not think about that.
Okay, cool.
I know she has wings because I took that wonder.
Obviously, Cupid needs wings. I get it.
Yeah.
What are the
And then, you know what? I think someone else should describe their character.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
I will
No,
be
we'll
ready
come
to
back. We'll come back.
order.
Well,
When I'm done looking at the menu.
Okay, all right.
instead of so instead of describing I'm going to do the same thing that Lexi just did, where I'm going to tell you all about them and then figure out what they look like after we come back around to me. I feel like that may be too
Okay,
fast.
we'll do the other stuff, and then we'll do
that.
descriptions.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay,
Just because the descriptions are hard.
I get it.
I don't have the I'm still figuring out the name.
Okay.
The backstory is that this individual was working very much like a death march corporate cubicle job and really wanted to climb the corporate ladder, but their ADHD was so strong that instead of like crunching numbers, and they're so bad at math, and this is not true to life at all.
And this is not me. It's not just, and his name is Patrick.
It's not
and
me. I don't.
His name is
corporate
Patrick
ladders.
Keeffe.
That's the fiction.
And
I see. Got it.
We've added fiction in there.
We've added.
Look,
it's different.
Role play. It's not typecasting. But they just ended up playing with rubber bands all day, and they would try and make these like more and more elaborate structures with rubber bands until they eventually created a perfect Mobius strip out of rubber bands that the act of doing so and it being so like just divinely intricate ascended them into godhood.
Fetch was like, you did it. That was
so
good.
much they became a god.
All right.
Achievement unlocked.
Achievement unlocked.
Exactly.
Okay. And so I'm assuming, well, I shouldn't assume. I was going to say, I'm assuming that they quit their job in the cubicle.
No, actually.
Kept it.
So they've just now shifted their focus where instead, because that was what I was thinking, is that like, okay, they could either just become like this sort of freeform artists with rubber bands. Like that seems like the natural progression of somebody who just did this.
Yeah.
They went the other way with it, which is they have now become the rubber band guy. Like you need one, I got one.
Obviously.
You have one, I need it. And is just sort of like constantly coming up with better and different ways to use rubber bands to increase productivity within the office environment.
Right. I'm imagining that they like still are supposed to be doing data entry, but just like don't, and nobody questions it anymore because you're able to like, like you're still supposed to be doing the stuff, but instead you're like, listen, I have this new thing with this rubber band and it makes everything better. That they're just like, I mean, I know their numbers are terrible, but like, did you see the thing they did in the break room? Like
yes. And I feel like when it really comes down to it, and like the numbers need to, like everything needs to be done, somehow I've figured out a way to solve those problems.
Oh, sure. With rubber bands.
And the work
has to be with rubber bands.
Still gets done. Nobody really knows that. He looks at rubber bands the same way that most people look at duct tape.
Yeah.
Where it's like, is it broke? Rubber band will fix it.
Rubber band will fix it. Cool. And do we have a name? We have Meg and
Francis
and Frederick. You're
yes, correct.
Yeah.
Francis and Frederick.
Okay.
Francis, and I'll think of a last name later.
Don't have to have one if you don't want. You are certainly welcome to. Meg, if you are from Darling, you probably have a family name, like a moneyed family name.
Fabulous. I will think of one.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to say that she does have a job now. It's not the bookshop owner thing. But she definitely writes one of those articles where people write in for relationship advice. And she like publishes the response. It's terrible.
Yeah, she's Dear Abby kind of situation. Yeah. Dear Meg.
But it's definitely like the most popular one in Darling.
Oh, of course it is. Which is
just, and in real life, the reason she became this god was because she just like loved that person so bad, but she wanted that meet cute story so desperately. Like even when she met the right person, she's like, but our meeting story isn't like cute enough. So I'm just gonna
we met on a dating app and I hate it.
Yeah, so she's like was waiting for like the meet cute, and it just didn't happen until finally Caprice was like, hey,
hey, listen,
hey,
all right, cool, all right, Damon, what's your name and what did you do?
So I think I am a med school dropout.
Great.
Generally not very great brains or no. Both of those are at 1. So I think I likely had it purchased in via scholarship or something like that, and then just was not good enough academically to maintain it.
Okay.
And then there was a prior name, but I think I'm just going to go with a god name. And I think I'm just going to go with Gel as this character's name.
Cool.
And I think I'm just generally oozy. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, depending on the situation, because it could be healing or it could be caustic or whatever. Or
just messy.
Or just messy. I think it's probably always messy.
Sure, but I mean, sometimes the only effect that it has is that it's messy.
Right. I intentionally did not put any points into sneak. I'm probably very easy to track.
Like footprints behind you always, and whatever you've touched. Great.
Just kind of sticky all over. And then I took I also took extra limb, the extra limb wonder, and I'm gonna have a slime pseudopod.
Where does it come from?
I think I have sort of a larger coat, and it can come out from under the coat, and then just
do whatever you need it to do.
Whatever you need it to do.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Just pseudopod things,
Just pseudopod things. Not a big deal. All right. So we are just at description. I mean, I think we got a bit of description from you. We know that like Meg has wings and that you are always covered in ooze and you have a long coat. Is there anything that you would like to add to the description? Also, your character's pronouns.
Yeah. Meg is she, her. And she actually, despite her purview and everything, is very, very unassuming. She wears like very neutral, plain clothing, has the short wash and go hair. And her mentality for that is because meet cutes always happen when you're least expecting them. Like when you it's always like, oh, and I was in my pajamas at the grocery store when I ran into him, so she is always like the big chunky glasses hiding behind. She is ready for that. The glasses fell off and I didn't realize how pretty she was underneath moment. It hasn't worked yet.
It might at some point. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
She's gotta be the every girl.
I get it.
That's who it happens to. Yeah.
Obviously.
When she spills her coffee because she runs into the right person. She doesn't want to ruin her best dress.
Right, sure. I'm smelling a touch of desperation off of Meg, and that's gonna be fun for me as the storyteller. Patrick, what about Francis?
So full name, Francis PM Esquire. Esquire is the last name, is not a lawyer or has anything to do with the law.
Good.
The P stands for Francis. The M stands for, you guessed it, Mansis.
Yes.
I was going to guess Marancis, so I was not.
Francis.
There you go. He, they. Gender tends to be a little elastic at times, not fluid specifically, elastic. It just kind of shoots back and forth. Is kind of constantly dressed in this very plain suit. Very sort of like lower level office worker, but like still has to wear the suit and everything, suit and tie to work. But the closer that you look at it, the more of the suit you realize is made out of rubber bands. The watch that he wears, the band on the watch is a rubber band. Suspenders made out of rubber bands. Tie clip is just a rubber band.
Just a rubber band on it.
Is just a rubber band. The tie itself, the knot is not actually tied. It's just intricately tangled up in a rubber band.
Rad.
And shoelaces are rubber bands. The whole, it just continues onwards.
Great.
Don't look at the jacket's fibers too close.
I'm gonna.
It's
gonna be the first thing I do is look at the jacket's fibers.
It's just microscopic rubber bands. It's like you look at the under a microscope. It's like, how is it still rubber bands? It's just all
rubber bands all the way down.
And
Love
they're
it.
interlocked somehow. They're all like kind of knitted together and tied, and it's all very stretchy but it looks normal for the most part.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's how Francis looks, and I think
Francis.
he's kind of they're always kind of bouncing from one idea to the next, and then we'll eventually come back to the first one. No matter if the
No matter
idea
what
that happens afterwards is better, we'll always come back to the first one.
That's great.
Interesting.
Oh my
Interesting.
gosh.
Damon, what about Gel? What's he look like?
I think I should describe Gel by saying spongy and frazzled.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he him for pronouns. I think that he is often just very exhausted with how slimy he is, and which is good that he's bound to capital because he has the but make it fashion.
He's just like
wonder.
Constantly trying to clean himself
Just like
up.
constantly cleaning himself off with this wonder, like pausing every minute or something, being like, wait a minute. And I have to change a little bit. And it's just the same one every time. It's the same wardrobe every time, but it is refreshed and cleaner for a little bit. But for my skill specialization under exert, I took surprisingly malleable. So I think he's good at like squeezing into things if he needs to. Small cracks, maybe. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, generally he's pretty gross.
All right, excellent. Okay, well, that is character build. We took our time. We did everything that we needed to do. Before the next session, if there are little things that you want to add in, like this would be the time when you would normally be like, oh, I also carry a memento of some kind. I have a picture of, like maybe Meg has a picture of the one that she hoped would have been the right meet cute, or something of that
way.
Yeah, the one that got away. But only because you let them get away because you were like, we didn't meet right. Or like, maybe you carry, and maybe somebody carries a specific book. Maybe there's some kind of a piece of something that is important to you that you can have with you. So I just like think about that before next time. But that is the build, and I think our tiny pantheon of gods here is going to be very weird and very interesting.
Very strange.
And so at this moment, I think it would be great for us to take our bio break. For those watching at home, you can, go get yourself some god juice, however you think that might be, probably from your kitchen. Interested to know how that translates in your brains. And grab yourself a snack, use the restroom, and then come right back here and we'll do some more chatting. So we'll see you in a few minutes. let's transition back into joy, shall we?
Yay!
We spent the first half, which was more than a half, as you may have noticed when you were watching at home. You were like, it has been longer than normal. We were just on a roll. We were having a good time. I stopped paying attention to the clock. So we're actually at moments of gratitude. So like, what during this process today brought you joy, or you thought was really cool that your fellow role players were doing?
I'm going to say for Patrick, everything that they did, just like real leaning in to like the rubber band puns, actually. Because like made of rubber bands, like, yes, creative, of course, but being like, oh, his like personality is elastic, or like he bounces between ideas. That chef's
Real
kiss.
good. Real good.
I'm gonna reflect that right back at you with just how hard you leaned into the idea of meet cutes and then like instantly created a whole personality around that, and like I think perfectly nailed exactly what type of person would become the god of meet cutes. I'm gonna also give it to Damon as well, with like the god of slime could have been anything, but the more that you described it, it was, oh no, this feels right.
Yeah.
This
Yes,
is correct.
literally.
I like the slime arm that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be
The
gross.
pseudopod was
Blech.
The leaning into city slime specifically was a turn I was not expecting, and I'm both disgusted and thrilled by.
yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, great.
That's our goal here, to make you disgusted and thrilled simultaneously. Yeah. I just wanted to say huge thanks to both Lexi and Patrick. The two of you have played this game now multiple times. And it's always a pleasure having you play it. And it's always wonderful, the feedback that I get from the two of you. It's just a treat to have you play in this world. And so thank you for continuing to do it. I really appreciate you both.
Thanks for letting us.
We keep being like, you have to show up at this time, please, and thank you.
Yep.
Ta-da.
Seriously though, thank you for like including us in this, and like I got real good feelings about this game, and being able to be in sort of like not only the play tests but like the first like iteration of like a streamed thing is really a lot of fun and really cool.
Hey.
And I've never
I was gonna say,
played it before as a
Damon
player.
has never played
This
it.
is my first time.
Stop.
Yay!
Yeah.
So this is
You
great.
get to play your own game.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, Patrick and I can help you.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes, thank you.
We're experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done this before.
Yeah, I mean, everyone on the stream has played the game more than Damon has played the game, so
It's true.
it's true.
Great.
Yeah, so that's actually an excellent segue. Let's chat about the Kickstarter that we have running right now and the game in general. Is there anything, Damon, that you would like to add about the game before we talk about, hey, everybody, give us money?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's a game that I'm really, really proud of. You know, it as it was coming together over the past couple of years, I just personally got more and more excited about it. And I've never really been the one to run a lot of games at the gaming tables I have been at over the years. I am typically a player, and I was just constantly excited to run this game. You know, I'm jazzed about the world, jazzed about the system, all of those things. And so for me, I took that as like a really good sign that I had something genuine and good on my hands. And I am very pleased to see that be correct. I am often not correct, but I think this time I am very correct. And so, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. What I'm going to pretend like I don't know the answers to these questions.
Okay.
But like, what was your biggest hurdle while you were designing? Like, what part gave you the most issues?
The math.
Mm-hmm.
The math. the foundation of the game that I really wanted is I wanted the players to have as much agency as possible and as much choice and freedom with their characters and what they do with their characters and how they affect the reality of the world as a whole and throughout the game. And inherently that means you're going to have balance issues. And so finding a way to hone in God level powers in a way that did not break the world, break the game, break all of the things, that was challenging. And Sarah knows we went through, or no, you don't know because you're.
I don't know anything. I know nothing.
Nothing at all. We went through a lot of iterations of how that could work along the way, and it was a struggle to get to where we landed on, but where we landed on gives players that ability, which I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have a favorite bit? Like anything in the game that is like whether it be a god NPC or something in a district, like do you have something, anything that you like?
Yeah, one of the first gods that I wrote back even in like the NaNoWriMo book was Litri, and Litri is the god of paint and paper folding, and he is deeply agoraphobic and has lived on his bridge for many hundreds of years. And his bridge, it began as this like beautiful origami bridge that he just started painting one day. And OCD takes over and he paints back and forth for generations until
forever and ever
turns into this like lumpy thing, and people walk across it and they track paint off. And he's definitely like near and dear to my heart. Definitely one of my favorite characters. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And so anything else you want to say before we just tell people that it's money time?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's money time.
Maybe it's money time. Yeah.
I'm just really excited for people to play the game.
Yeah, me too.
It's fun, and I think it's pretty intuitive, even for new gamers. It's definitely like a learn by seeing and doing situation. Rotes are a little tricky to explain on paper, but we'll get to experience that all together here. So
yeah. Yes, Patrick, calling on you.
I was wondering if I'm pseudo throwing Lexi under the bus at the moment because I have things that I want to say, but I figured maybe I'd also offer that up. If Lexi and I, as people who have played the game before and have actually experienced it from the experience side of things, add our like thoughts into how cool it is.
Please.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about this game is that there's a lot of the lore. It's got some very interesting and fleshed out lore with how
so much lore
is created. With a lot of different fantasy worlds, there's been quite a bit of exploration about the mortal interaction with gods, but not a whole lot about like the pantheon and the lesser gods and how they interact on a daily basis and like what their world must be like. And so it's really interesting to see that fully fleshed out and able to be experienced within its own unique system, and not using another system that is purpose built for other things and then modifying it to be that. I personally am playing in a 20th level D&D campaign where we are playing what we are referring to as mortal gods, where we're sort of just ascending into the realm of godhood. And don't get me wrong, it is extremely fun, but it's like we're still playing Dungeons and Dragons. We are still building off the fact that we are heroes that have now ascended to godhood. We are not and we're not like coming up with our background where we were just, we are gods, and now we're moving, forward from there, and our previous lives don't particularly matter anymore. And being able to there was another thing. Come on, brain. You were so close.
You're doing so good.
You were right there. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll throw over to Lexi if Lexi wants to say anything, and then hopefully I'll remember what the other thing I was going to say is.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually love, Patrick, that you touched on the lore of the game, because flipping it around, one of my favorite things about it is actually more on kind of the technical side, because the lore is super cool. But I think one of the things that like really makes the game super unique is specifically the rote system, which all of you will see when we get further into gameplay, or if you, see more about the Kickstarter and the rote system and how it's kind of talked about in there. Because I think what's good about it is that like narratively, this is a very freeform game, but the rote system and the actual like character building system is actually extremely technical, which is a fantastic thing, because you can't just say, hey, you're a god, do whatever you want. Here's your setting, goodbye. Because then it's like, okay, I kill all of the things because I'm a god and I do that and I'm done and I leave. Like in, not to compare, but I think Dungeons and Dragons is just like kind of a really good baseline to sort of,
Sure.
when you're talking about this sort of gameplay, because this isn't D&D. In D&D, if you're a spellcaster, you have your spells, and it's very, very simple in that this is my spell, this is the level it is, but in that simplicity, it's limiting.
Yeah, because the spell, every time you do it, does exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
you have access to a certain amount of them that you can do, and that's it.
Yeah. Exactly. And even if you have a DM who's willing to let you play a little bit, which I've been very lucky to have because I love getting creative with my spells, it's still like you really have to fight for it.
Yeah.
The way the system is set up. So here, I actually really love how technical it lets you be creative, because it still lets you be creative like within the limits of your character level. Like you're a level 2 character. Just because you're a god, you're still not going to do, you can't just walk in and I'm going to murder all the other gods and blow up the city. Like, so it's done really, really well in how it balances the narrative freedom with technical structure to kind of like still make it doable. Like, that's my favorite thing about it.
Awesome. Thank you for those insights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Also, I do want to say, I'm sorry, you go first.
No. I will be as quick about it as I can.
You're totally fine.
Stalling to put my sentences together. It's always really fun playing in a world where things can be rather grimdark and this sort of, very shadowed, very depressing, or existential campaign. Like you can go really, especially with the different aspects of the different gods, and you can go in a very dark direction with that, where not everything is bright and shiny on the outside, and it's all very like you get on like into the grime and the slime of the underbelly of this city. But you could also go as silly and ridiculous as you want with it. In the playtest, I played a god named Jimmy Bottles. He was the god of bottles. He liked recycling. And boy, how did he talk like this? Everything was about bottles. You got cans, don't want them. Don't want nothing to do with cans.
Yep.
You got glassware? Now we're getting closer. And it was just ridiculous and silly and fun. And the fact that there is such that range built into the game that you really can do whatever you want with it is wow.
Yeah. It supports all kinds of stories, like very, very big epic stories, and very, very tiny stories that can happen between, 2 people if you want to get it down into little stuff, and you can have as much dark or as much joy as you want, or a mix of the two. And I think it's very exciting. I also want to call attention one more time to how amazing our art is. Our artist, Tanel Levitt, is doing all of the art for the entire book. So it's very, very cohesive. One of my favorite pieces is Caprice's coat, which is made out of her favorite chair so that she can always have it with her. A lot of really amazing details on this. Tanel does a lot of stuff in the wardrobe where she has sheer pieces that you can see through. There's some sheer in all of the Clade members, which is a very, very hard thing to do artistically. And it's a thing that she's very good at, and everything is so beautiful to look at. And we are very lucky and spoiled to have her. So there's just it's a beautiful game, and you can tell beautiful stories. And so I hope that you all will buy it, because we are really, really super proud of it. So
having one of the test copies, I feel very lucky to have it. And you should make yourself feel very lucky and awesome, and get the actual hardcover, like real version. Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
I want to see the higher level wonders.
Yeah. They get wild. They get super wild.
They're crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah. Because they keep getting like more expensive as you go up, so like higher level ones are costing, 50, 60 points of experience, and they are worth that much. So
Yep.
They're nuts.
It's gonna be fun. Okay. Well, how about we do where we can be found on the internet? Let's go around. I'm going to start again with Patrick. Where can we find you?
Beautiful. All right. Here's the paragraph. I can be found at That Gray Gentleman everywhere on the internet. Every Friday, you can find me over on Offbeat Outlaws YouTube channel, playing the aforementioned level 20 D&D campaign called Paperwork Pantheon. Imagine if the realm of the gods was like Dunder Mifflin. It gets real weird and crazy, and also heavily emotional, which has been a bit surprising. Things have been getting more intense. You can also find me over at the Writers Room 7th Sea, which is a fully produced 7th Sea TTRPG podcast. It is produced as if it were a radio play. The reason we call it the Writers Room is because while we have our heavy role play sections, whenever we get into the game mechanics, we step out of the game, out of the story and narrative of everything, into the Writers Room, and we teach people how to play the game as we go along. I will be at Rhode Island Comic-Con this November, so if you would like to meet me in person for whatever reason, I don't know, I'm just some
because you are a delight. That's why
I'm a random weirdo on the internet.
10 out of 10. Do recommend.
You can come and join me at Rhode Island Comic-Con, and I might have some other stuff coming up in the future that I have signed an NDA about, but it's stuff that you can listen to, and that's all I can say.
Good. We like to leave with like a very cryptic thing.
Exactly.
Like that's the best way to end your pitch. Yeah.
Builds the suspense.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Lexi, where can we find you?
Hi, you can find me under Lexi The First across the internet. Most Wednesday evenings, you can also find me on our YouTube channel, Gotham City Tonight, where my co-host Ryan and I discuss all things Batman, DC Comics, media, comics, shows, television, upcoming, has happened, will happen. We sometimes do watch throughs on other days. If there's a Wednesday night, I happen to be on Gen Con TV, then we do our show Friday night. But make sure you're following our Gotham City Tonight pages to see where we're going to be.
Yay!
I don't have any NDAs coming up, so I can just tell you things.
I can make you sign something. You want me to make you sign something? I'll make you sign an NDA, and then
because then I'll be special.
Lexi and I have a thing coming up, but she had to sign an NDA, so you can't hear about it yet. Yeah,
super secret. Yeah, really cool.
Shh. Damon, where can we find you?
I'm on the internet, basically just on Twitter at _feral. And then the company website is formerlyferalgames.com, and there you can find all of the other socials that mostly Sarah is in charge of, to be entirely honest. The Instagram is The Crowned RPG, and then we're on Facebook, Formerly Feral Games, and then our Kickstarter is going right now. So go check that out too. It's right now. It's doing a thing.
It's doing a thing.
It's somewhere.
It's doing really well
down there.
Yeah, we'll put it. It'll be in the chat. It's in the chat. Look in the chat.
Link. I don't know what direction is where.
Nobody knows directions.
It's on either side.
Everybody point somewhere. It's definitely somewhere
in the chat. somewhere over there, maybe there.
I want
I
like
feel
the
like
more you know
Scarecrow
arc.
from-
Da, da, da. Yeah, the rainbow would be very appropriate for this.
Mm.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll see what my graphics guy can do. We'll figure it out. Hi, Jeff. I love you. Anyway. My name is Sarah Moore. You can find me on Facebook at Actor Sarah Moore. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Ko-Fi and TikTok at Pixies and Pins. You can find me on my website at pixiesandpins.com. You can find me here every Friday night on twitch.tv/GenConTV on Sarah's Table. This is part of a 4-episode arc. So I know normally I do just like either 1 or 2 episodes of each game, but like this is my game, so I'm going to do more. Haha. So we did our session 0 as our first session today, and then starting next week we are doing another 3 episodes of gameplay, and we're gonna get into all of the stuff. And I think maybe I haven't told Damon this yet, but I think maybe we're going to try to get one ritual for the group in during the whole thing, which is basically a rote that everybody contributes to. And so we're going to, that's what I call, which means that between now and then we have to make sure that those mechanics work. Pew, pew, pew. Okay. It's gotta be great. We'll meet after this stream. Okay. It's gonna be good. I'm very excited. I also, we have some appearances coming up. I'm gonna be on chat time with Perception Studio this coming Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific, I believe is the time. I don't know. You'll have to look at my socials. I know all those things. Then we have a couple of podcast appearances coming up. And we are just basically going to be shouting about this game until the Kickstarter is over, and probably afterwards, because we're just like bursting. We're just very, very proud of it. So I'm so grateful to the 3 of you for coming on my table today. I am I would like to thank everybody at home for watching and coming along with all of my wild shenanigans and weird hand gestures. Thank you to Jeff, who is my editor, who makes it look real pretty and sometimes makes it look like I'm looking in the right direction when I am talking to people. Not all the time, though, but that's really a me problem and not a Jeff problem. Thank you to Marcus Mays, who is hitting the go button, who is the tech at Gen Con TV. Thank you to Gen Con TV for giving me this platform where I get to spotlight indie games from small publishers. I think that it is wildly important to showcase games that are not getting a ton of media and money presence behind them. So this is it's very, very cool that we get to play games that are not even out yet on this show. I don't know. I'm sure there's other people that I can thank, but if I keep going, it's going to be another like 45 minutes. So I will wrap.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. Yeah, for sure. But also a big shout out to the formerly Feral Games team, the rest of our team who have been working their asses off, and also to our long suffering partners who deal with us as we put together this craziness. So thank you to everybody. So I guess that's it. Make sure that you come back here next week so that you can see these gods in action. I don't know what's going to happen because I've met all of them before, and they are just like, it's like I just fed them all chaos. So,
Yep.
Who knows? Yeah, very excited. So, as always, keep making art and keep being art. We will see you next time. Mwah.
Bye.
It's
Bye.
Bye.